This is Blood on my 1989, and this is going to be my review for Monday Night Impact. Now, overall, I think it was a great show. Probably their best live show in terms of pacing and not fucking up, basically. Alright, so let's get started. First off, we have Bischoff calling off Jeff Jarrett, and then he's basically trying to get him to look like a fool in front of the crowd and stuff like that. And eventually, Jeff Jarrett puts the guitar through Eric Bischoff's head. We're back from the break, and Eazy-E announces that Jeff Jarrett will face Foley tonight in a career versus career match. The loser will be fired, and the winner will become Eric's bitch, which I thought was classic and pretty funny. Next, we had an 8 knockout tag match, and it went straight to commercial, so I feared that we'll only get like a minute once we come back from it. But actually, we got a good amount of action from everyone, and we actually see Daphne gain the victory, and which I'm freaking loving. I'm loving this whole Daphne push. I've wanted this for so long, and this is probably the most interesting thing in the Knockouts division since Angelina won the title last year. So I'm very, very, very glad for that. Next, we see AJ and Ric Flair arrive all banged up, and oh my fucking god, this was hilarious. I seriously could see myself watching this years from now. Flair in the wheelchair and AJ basically all crippled, so that just made me laugh and crack up. And we have Abyss and Hogan in the ring, and Hogan announces that he would lead a team against Flair in Lethal Lockdown, and his team captain will be Abyss. And then Ric Flair announces that his team captain will be Sting, and AJ was just faking being injured and stuff like that. I love this freaking segment. Something TNA doesn't do is have the young star that they're trying to get over make the save for the bigger stars, and I think that's something that could really get someone over, and they actually did it here with the Pope D'Angelo Dinero. As soon as his music hit, I was freaking marking out that you know, basically, and he basically made the same save for Hogan and Abyss, so I was real happy to see that. They were already starting to build up for AJ, and I was also glad that Abyss is ending up in the Lethal Lockdown match and not somewhere in the main event with Pope and AJ. So we're still gonna get a singles match. That's what it looks like. And then we have Hogan actually push Flair down the ramp on the wheelchair, and he got clotheslined by Abyss. It was a fucking sick spot, and it was a great segment. And Lockdown is looking great. I mean, possibly Motor City Machine Guns getting their title shot, Kaz getting his title shot, Pope versus AJ, and this Flair versus this guy, Lethal Lockdown, which will probably feature Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, Desmond Wolfe, among others, Beer Money. It's probably going to be the best Lethal Lockdown yet. Now, next we have Tom Cole versus Rob Terry, and this was a squash match. And even though Rob Terry is looking better with each match that he has, I still don't think I'm going to like him or stop. I don't know, man. I really hated Rob Terry last year. But either way, he looks strong and wins, and we get an announcement that Beer Money will referee the Foley-Jeff Jarrett match. So then the match starts after some great promos by Jeff Jarrett and Mick Foley, and Mick looks so cool to me, which is why I'm wearing my Mick Foley vest. Yeah, he looked vintage Mick Foley when he was cutting that promo and stuff like that, so I was really marking out. Anyways, after this decent match, we saw Foley lose. And Eric Bischoff throughout this was great on commentary ever since he came out, and Foley actually almost got chanted out by the fans. They were starting the na 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 na, but then they cut it out and they were cheering for him and stuff. And then Eric Bischoff ordered that Beer Money attack Jeff Jarrett, and who made the save? Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam, and they basically challenged Beer Money to a match tonight, which I was marking out for, because I'm a big fan of Beer Money, huge fan, and it was awesome to hear Rob Van Dam talking more on the mic. He hasn't really got a chance to talk that much. So anyways, we see Foley leaving, which was kind of sad, and then Bubba gets on screen and gets a huge heel pop. Then bang bang! Foley hits the shit out of him and gets a huge face pop, which was hilarious, and it felt nice for his exit. Either way, Eric Bischoff and Hogan discussed their motives and recent moves, and this whole Hogan versus Eric Bischoff struggle power power struggle build up is very interesting. I think eventually, whenever it actually explodes and happens, it's gonna be a great angle and feud. Then we got a Beer Money promo, and I love these guys. Especially James Storm, the way he just starts yelling. Oh, that's great. I love the promo skills, and I'm glad that they're getting TV time. Beer Money! Anyways, Hernandez versus Matt. Great match, putting Supermax over, but then we get a sick carbon footprint into the post in the corner that sends Hernandez to the hospital. And they did everything they can to make this seem like it really happened. It was legit. So it was kind of hard to tell if it was or wasn't. Either way, great segment, and I really hope he's okay and that it was kayfabe, because he's had neck injuries in the past. Main event time, Beer Money versus Jeff Hardy and Rob Van Dam, and I think this was a great match. These guys were working well against each other. The freaking judo monkey flip shit made Root fly. It was just great. But then near the end, I was getting so worried about the time and so worried I don't want it to get cut off like the first live show. But thankfully it didn't, and we saw a sick finish with this guy hitting the Rolling Thunder. Then right after that, the Swanton Bomb, and then right after that, the Frog Splash. It's something that I know I'm going to watch again and again as soon as I finish making this video, if I can find a clip for it. Either way, and then Eric Young comes out and basically says that next week is going to be Eric, Jeff, and Rob versus Wolfpack. And I think this is a good way to get Eric Young over, teaming him up with these guys. Let's see if they end up in the Lethal Lockdown match or in a separate match of their own. Either way, great finish. This was the best live show in terms of managing time. They really didn't depend on, of course, surprises and stuff like that. They just depended on storyline and actual build-up and wrestling, which I think the show should be based on, of course. And then we also had the finish actually happen. It didn't get cut off or something like that, and it wasn't rushed, etc. Or everything just flowed sexy, and I'm very glad for that. Can't wait for next week, excuse me. Mr. Bloodman 1989. Peace. Oh yeah, and Daphne has a first blood title match against Tara, which I hope Daphne wins. Please, Daphne, make that bitch bleed. Even though I don't see Tara doing a blade job. I don't know. I just want Daphne to win. Mr. Bloodman 1989. Peace. Bang bang.